In case this is your first time seeing my face, my name is Kumi, and I hope you watched my last video where I talked about how I started working in the media in Nigeria. So in this video, I'll be talking about something sort of similar, or should I say in the same line, right? I'll be talking about starting a business, how I started my first business. Let me just start off saying that I never considered myself as a business person at all. I used to say this to my husband all the time, I would look at other people that had businesses, but I didn't really think that that was for me. You know what I mean? But something changed in 2017. For the first time, I sort of didn't know the direction that my life was going because I'm a planner. I always have a plan. Whether it's for my day or it's for my life I always have a plan. But for the first time, I was leaving a job and I didn't know what I was going into. And it was a very interesting time in my life. It was kind of exciting because for the first time I was like, whoa, I can do anything. If you're someone who is a planner to the T, you understand what I'm talking about. But it was also scary because I was like, what am I actually going to do? How am I going to make money? So at the time, and by the way, I'm Christian, so you definitely hear a few of the references here and there, but at the time I was fasting, and I remember exactly where I was. I was in the car driving somewhere or driving back from somewhere, and it literally dropped in my spirit to start a business, to start a food business. Now let me just put it out there. I make jollof rice, and according to my family and friends, it's really great jollof rice. So yeah, it dropped in my spirit to start a food business. And it's very interesting how this jollof rice thing started because my husband, boyfriend then, does that make any sense? My boyfriend then, husband now, he really loves jollof rice. So I went on YouTube, which is such a big coincidence. I went on YouTube and I watched a tutorial. It was probably one of the most watched YouTube tutorials, and I learned and I started making the jollof rice. The first time it was so hard, but subsequently it was better, and all that. People say, oh, your jollof rice is so great. And me, I'm thinking something that I started because of love, because of Mumu Button. I started making jollof rice. I thought, very, very interesting. I didn't know this was going to become a thing. But literally, even the ideas for what the logo would look like, or what my packaging would look like, they just started dropping. And I went home, I got out a piece of paper and a pen, and I just started writing down all my ideas. And I shared it with my sister and my mom at the time, and yeah, everybody thought it was a good idea. I mean, I was getting married the following month, right? So that was February 2018, or that was January 2018. I was getting married in March, rather, 2018, so 2 months later. And so there were a few people that thought, you're getting married, you now want to take on a big project like starting a business. But at the time, to be honest, I felt like it was right, and I didn't feel like I was taking on too much. And yeah, getting married was important to me, but also having a source of income was equally as important. So I mean, side note, this is just to say, people have lots of advice, but sometimes you actually know best. Whew. Yeah, I said it. Sometimes you know best. And I'm glad I started it at the time. Huge shout out to my dad. He was the first person that ever gave me seed money. He gave me 25,000 naira. And that was what I used to start off the business, because at the time I didn't have any savings, I didn't have any personal money to invest in the business. My brother-in-law helped me design a logo. I started buying things like packaging, rice, I paid for food stickers, that would go on the food bowls and all that kind of stuff. And I started. I remember that was the 1st of February 2018. My husband took me around the whole of the island. I was going to friends and family, like their offices, dropping off lunch. And that's another thing. When I started off, I didn't start selling straight off. I gave people samples because genuinely I wanted feedback. So this was the first time that I wasn't just cooking for people in my house. I was actually cooking for like 20 to 25 people who, yeah, I know, but it was also like a bigger number, and I wanted feedback. And I'm really grateful for the feedback I got. Sometimes when you get feedback as a business owner, it can be discouraging, but you really need that feedback to grow. And I remember I went to my sister's office, I went to my sister-in-law's office, I went to my boss now, Simi Isiri. A huge shout out to her. She is one of the most instrumental people on my business journey, because she always encouraged, she always bought, she would even pay more than the cost of her order. She would always pay, and she's just amazing. I took it to her as well, so many people, just so that I would get good feedback, and I did, which I'm grateful for. There were so many mistakes I made in the early weeks and months. Sometimes you deliver rice and it's too hard, or sometimes you pay a delivery company and they turn up like 4 hours late. I'm not kidding. I've sent food off at 10 a.m. before, and it didn't get to the person until 4. Delivery companies in Lagos will be the death of your business. But I digress. All kinds of things, so many things, but mistakes only make you grow. And this is not supposed to be an inspirational video per se, but that's just the truth. If some things don't happen, you can't move on from it, you can't grow from it. And so I'm glad those things happened early on. So I moved from orders of just 10 bowls or 15 bowls to bigger orders, 40, 50, 60. And it got to the point also where I'd hire someone, or I'd hired 2 people to help me with the order, because sometimes it just got too big. So the business was growing like that, and I was pushing it quite actively on social media as well, promoted tweets, posting photos and videos, and a lot of people that I know got to know about it. In fact, till today, people still call me by my business name, which is Just Jollof, JUS apostrophe and then Jollof. They're like, madam, Just Jollof, so it really became like my brand, like I make jollof rice. So yeah, the business was growing. But then by late last year, about Christmas into New Year, I sort of decided that I wanted to move on and I wanted to go back to full-time employment. And that's just the kind of person I am. I've always been like, I've always liked work, and I've always liked working. So yes, I have a business. Yes, by God's grace, I hope to expand it in future. But I also really like having a job. Like, as much as I like being on the business side, I like being an employee as well. And so I decided I wanted to go back to work. And it was the type of work that wouldn't have allowed me to continue operating the business the way I was, that is cooking from my kitchen and that kind of stuff. I had to pause on that. And so many people were like, what happened to your business? I didn't kill it. It's just on pause, because I believe in life having phases. And I feel like I had laid the foundation, and I'll build on it. Doesn't have to be now, but I'll build on it. So I decided to box that one for now and go back to full-time work, which is what I'm doing now. So basically that's just my personal business story. When it comes to challenges, if you have a business, you know what I'm talking about. Things like, maybe for 1 month you have back to back orders, and then for 2.5 months, bim, you don't get one message saying, please, I need blah 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 blah. You know what I mean? It can be tough. And then sometimes the instability as well, it can be very discouraging. You're just like, maybe I should just go back and work for somebody, that kind of thing. But yeah, the challenges. But if you're watching right now and you're thinking about starting your business, or you just started your business, these are just a few things I think would be useful to think about. First of all, when it comes to where you want to operate from, I think starting from home is fantastic. Honestly, some people are so quick to want to go and rent a shop and start employing people, and I just think it's premature. Sometimes I think it's putting the cart before the horse. I think you and your business need to grow at the same level or at the same rate, not your business growing and you are behind, or you growing and your business is still crawling. You are walking, your business is crawling. Sometimes I think start from home. You don't have to go and be paying rent somewhere else. And that moves me to my second point. I mentioned before that I would pay someone to help me for the day, or I'd pay 2 people. You don't have to employ people straight off. Sometimes you can do the work for that time by yourself, and then the business will grow and then you can take it from there and start employing people. For me, social media was also instrumental. I did giveaways, I paid for promoted tweets, not just like putting videos and photos on Instagram, because I wanted to push it beyond my family and my friends. I wanted new people to order, and I did get new customers. So it goes without saying, sometimes I think these days there's no need to even say it. I mean, a lot of us use Instagram for both business and personal purposes. So definitely social media. Last but not least, I would also recommend that if you have a full-time job and you want to start a business, you don't need to quit, especially immediately. You don't need to quit. I think sometimes there's this idea that, just leave your job and pump all your energy into the business. Having both can be a very, very good thing. My sister, she's a wonderful baker. By all means, she makes the best cakes in Lagos. Nobody can tell me otherwise. She has a full-time job and she has a full-time business. And, I've noticed that a lot of times when you have both, you can use the full-time income to feed and grow the business. So it's not always a bad thing, combining both. So don't be in a rush to leave your job and then put all your energies into the business. If the time comes, I feel like as a business owner, when the time comes, you will know that, okay, I think it's time, to leave my job. But doing it outright, I don't think is always the best. At the end of the day though, do what's best for you. So I think those are just a few things I learned running a super small scale business. Like, I don't have a Fortune 500 company. I'm not like, a big shot, but when it comes to starting a small business, I know a thing or two about how challenging it can be, right? So I hope you enjoyed this video, and please leave comments, share your own business experiences with me. I'd love to read them. And please share this video with your friends, give it a thumbs up if you like it, and subscribe for more videos. So I'm looking forward to seeing you in my next video. Have a lovely day.